do, do, do. Feel like I should do our own on-hold music. Do, 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 do. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. My name is Lee Honish. I'm joined by Andrew Labouche. I don't even know which side that pops out on. I'm not looking at myself. Andrew Labouche and Miguel Antonio Barragan. We talk about boxing each and every week. We do apologize. The last 3 or 4 weeks have been a little choppy at best, but we're back on track now. So if you're watching this or you're listening to this, please click like, subscribe. If it's your first time, please go to @FightNet Radio on all forms of social media. Andrew, how are you today?
Doing good, Lee. Thank you.
Excellent. Miguel, your trip to Utah to a BFF's, how was it?
Yes, one of my BFFs who happen to be twin brothers. One is in Southern California, one is in Utah, West Jordan, which is about 20 miles south of Salt Lake. His youngest boy turned 1, so it was like a birthday party for that thing. Drove up there with Pops. My dad yapping away, making sure I stay awake. And it was a nice weekend up there, and we just got home yesterday evening. And with some wind, some crosswinds, so I definitely had to white knuckle it for a little bit. But it was a nice little weekend. Back, glad to be home though.
We would have done the show without you, but somebody has to watch the Showtime card. Somebody.
Right.
And it's certainly not going to be me, and it's certainly not going to be Andrew. So there you go. Please, again, click like, subscribe, follow us on all forms of social media. Just type in FightNet Radio. You'll be able to find us. We're going to give you all the news, catch you right up, cover the events of the past weekend, and probably take you up to about Monday so you're aware of all the ongoing news. I want to save something for the weekend. It's been an interesting, the week is shifting. So let's turn back the clock. And we'll start off Derek James on Anthony Joshua. You'll see a different guy. Okay. Why would that be? I don't quit. James said of is it worth, forgive me. It's been so long. I can't even talk. I don't quit until my guy gets it. If there's something that I think is significant, then I'm going to keep pushing him, keep working until they get it. If they don't get it, I got to keep on pushing. It's like the lyrics to an REO Speedwagon song. If they don't get it, I take the fault. People talk about Anthony Joshua not looking good in the Franklin fight. He fought that fight that I wanted him to fight. I know that you may think someone else, something else, but he fought the fight that I wanted him to prepare for the fight. Good God, does he really speak this way? The more time you get together, you'll see a different guy, period. I want to make sure we get everything down. Added James, he won every single round. Well, all right, guys, let's start right here. He did look like crap. I don't see the significant impact that Derek James has made in his training. So I'll start with you, Miguel. He did look like crap.
Are we talking about AJ here?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't look like crap per se. He just didn't look improved. Like he didn't, like there's no advancement. We didn't see anything new, a new wrinkle or anything along those lines. So it's really, I wouldn't go as far as to say it looks like crap. It just doesn't look like, when you go to a new trainer, that's kind of that's sort of the point, right? Like you're kind of going there with the hopes that there's some sort of new something that's taught. That's the reason you go to a new trainer, right? New strategies, because they're obviously not going to teach them the same shit, right? They're not going to teach them how to throw a jab. You know how to throw a jab, but it's strategy, right? It's other stuff. It's mind. It's having the brain for the boxing IQ, the ring IQ, right? So when you don't see anything like that, I'm sure we'll get to him later. Jaime Munguia with Eric Morales. When you don't see any fucking changes and you don't see any advancement, you're like, what the fuck? What was the point of going there? Like, did you just go, because you didn't have enough yes men in your previous camp? Now you have this here, because if you're not seeing any improvement or any changes, it kind of defeats the purpose of going to a different gym.
Andrew?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Miguel said. Look, he didn't look like crap. He didn't look good either. He had a swollen eye. He was bleeding. got into a little bit of a shoving match after the fight with the cornermen. It just wasn't a good look for AJ. Do they have his next fight signed? Is there an update
There are a couple
on
of
AJ's
stories,
opponent?
but no, they don't.
Yeah, right. They just keep
No.
throwing around this.
I mean,
this-
it's like saying, is there a fight for everybody wants to fight Regis this past week, right? Everybody wants to fight Jaime Munguia this past week. Nobody signed Dick.
Yeah, I know Eddie Hearn's been throwing around that Saudi Arabia or Dubai is about to put on a big heavyweight tournament. Miguel, did you hear about that?
Vaguely, but I mean, I don't think when I see tournaments, I don't really pay much attention to them because I don't think they're going to be able to get as many people involved in it. But I vaguely recall reading something about was it four guys, right? I think it was. I don't think it was more than four.
He's not crap, but he's not interesting in my life anymore unless he's fighting Wilder or Tyson Fury in his next fight. I don't think I'm coming back for AJ against another Franklin. I'm a little over that in his career. He's a little bit too far down the road to be, doing the whole jumping trainers and I'm gonna bring back a better me. You kind of are who you are. So if instead of trying to milk this career, I hope he does get the either the Fury or Wilder fight. And I know Wilder, I think, is fighting Andy Ruiz now. I believe AJ was talking to Fury. So hopefully they get that fight going because I'm not really interested in seeing AJ in another showcase.
No, I think last I heard it was supposed to be Dillian White, but something about
that
Dillian
was the
White
discussion,
not wanting.
but nobody's taken the he hasn't taken the contract.
Yeah, he didn't like something, so he's like, no, fuck it. So I don't want it. So now that fight ain't happening. Yeah, so much for any kind of tournament.
There you go. Our next story. Devin Haney was officially fined $25,000 for his weigh-in push preceding the Lomachenko fight. Said Haney, who cares? This is a BS fine, Andrew. I mean, I get why they're doing it, but come on.
Hey,
it's
that's
$4 million purse.
That 25 grand, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, that's enough. He was gonna get penalized. He shoved him pretty hard at the weigh-ins. We all know the penalty. I thought it was over 100 grand because Haney had put out a tweet to Lomachenko about the size of the amount of the penalty. So it's kind of like I guess it's not that bad that it's only 25 grand. So yeah, that seems like a reasonable penalty for sports.
Miguel?
Yeah, I think I originally heard it was a certain percentage of his purse, but because his purse was a big ass chunk, they're like, okay, maybe that's a little exaggerating for a shove. So I think they brought it back down to 25K, which I mean, for any one of us, normal folk is a nice fucking chunk of change, but to him, considering his purse and considering his previous fight purse was nothing. And really, I mean, if it didn't, yeah, granted, it was kind of like uncalled for and unsportsmanlike, but really no damage was done. Lomachenko wasn't like he hurt his neck or somehow whiplashed his fucking neck or anything like that, right? Everything was fine. So, ultimately, at the end of the day, nothing got in the way of the fight itself, and the fight happened as we anticipated. So, yeah, a slap in the wrist, and really, that's kind of what's all it's really deserved, really.
Our next story: Jared Anderson to face Charles Martin on Saturday. Visa issues took Kubla Kruski, whatever the fuck his name was, out of the fight. So this is by Keith Idec, so I'll at least believe this actual source. Has learned former IBF heavyweight champion Charles Martin has replaced Jean Kotbutsky, whatever where does Bob dig these people up? As Anderson's opponent for the 10-round main event on ESPN. It'll be televised Saturday night from the Huntington Center in Anderson's hometown of Toledo, Ohio. Yay. Also home of the Toledo Mud Hens. All right, so now has Martin had enough time, Miguel, to make this a decent fight?
Yeah, he has. I mean, I'm looking it up here right now. It looks like his last fight was in September, 2022. And it's enough time for preparation. He's kind of up there in age, so you're not the kind of guy that you want to be outside of the ring for too long. But at the same time, if somebody his age, which I think is 37, I believe, if he has any nagging injuries or anything like that, the time off will help him heal and whatnot, and come back a little bit more refreshed and a little bit more, I guess, rejuvenated. But yeah, I mean, I like this fight. I kind of like it better than the original fight, because when we're talking about, what is it, developing
Sean,
these young fighters and developing, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, has the real big baby? Let me roll my eyes a little harder into the camera. The real big baby. This is a step up for him on some level.
It is. It is a former champion, the kind of guy who has fought, people like bigger names. That's kind of a big deal. So yeah, I mean, fought guys like AJ and Kawanowski. So and even Luis Ortiz, I believe, recently. So yeah, it's somebody that who has been, I guess, has had the experience of being a main event type of fighter. And even though he was just, the B side, and a title holder, albeit very briefly. But it is literally the next step, and this is the kind of fights we want to see. I think at this point, the real big baby has been just taking out tomato cans, and the next guy in line, I guess, is the kind of guy who's going to give him rounds, and this is precisely that. So I'm looking forward to this one. I like to see it. Not to say that he's any Martin. I'm saying he's not in any sort of real. He's not a real threat. He's not a live underdog necessarily, but he's going to be in there, and he's going to take all of Big Baby's punches, and he's gonna he's gonna be in there for the 12 or the 10 rounds or however long it's gonna be. So we're probably gonna see Jared get in there for pretty much the length of the fight. I don't think he's gonna be able to take him out.
Andrew, before I start you, I was just outside talking to my mother before I started this, and she said, "I think there's a fight on Saturday." I go, "Yeah, there is. Yeah." She goes, "Are we gonna watch it?" No, we're not. I said, I might have to. I go, it's not the fight you think you're going to see. There is literally nothing on the undercard. It is a long laundry list of prospects. Andrew, will you be having a barbecue and watching this fight?
I don't know if I'm throwing a barbecue for it, but what is it, Saturday? I don't think we're doing anything. As long as we're not doing anything, I'll be watching, Lee.
Is it just pizza, or are you willing to bust out the barbecue for the family?
I'll barbecue if they want me to, but I'm not throwing it for the fight. You know what I mean? Look, it's a baby step. All the guys that Miguel named, Martin's lost to all of them. 2 of them knocked him out. Anthony knocked him out in 2 rounds. Ortiz stopped him in 6. So it's a baby step. Yes, on paper, this is the toughest opponent Jared Allen's ever faced. But where
Miller, get it right. He's the real big baby.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? I thought I hella looked at his name again.
Isn't Jared Allen a football player?
Jared Anderson.
There you go.
Did I say Allen?
You did say Allen.
I think you're right. He's a lineman.
I don't know. Comment down in the links. This will probably be a clip out that everybody will go to. Right. Everybody go clip in the comments. Who got it right?
Thought he was as a prospect. This is a real baby step. Because if you're really supposed to be the next future of the heavyweight division, man, Charles Martin is a very, he was a champion for a few months. I don't even think he held the title for, half a year. We could look that up, but I think it was only a few months. Lost to all the 3 biggest guys he's ever faced. 2 of them stopped him. Anderson should knock this man out on Saturday. It's a baby step.
Our next story, and I guarantee this is going out as a reel to everyone, because I can't pass it up, because he's a damn clickbait all by himself. Adrian Broner focused on Regis Prograis. The Regis Prograis sweepstakes has begun. So far, I have seen our next story, which is Haney. You name it, everybody wants a piece of Regis Prograis for some remarkable reason. But of course, because I like clickbait, let's see what Adrian Stabone the Broner has to say. I'm happy you got that gift. You kept your belt. Now it's time to get it on. Okay. Again, he hasn't fought anybody to even be in contention to fight. Is that all he said? Wait, hold on. See you soon, my boy. Go sharpen that shit up. I'm on your ass like back pockets. I've never heard that one. I might title the show, I'm on your ass like back pockets. I'm going to fuck you up. I'm go fuck you up. No N on it. Just I'm go fuck you up. God, I love the internet. Andrew.
Yes.
Is he going to be on him? On his ass like back pockets? I don't do comedy this week, Andrew. These guys are doing it for me.
If I'm Regis, I don't know if I'm going for this fight. It matters what the pay is. Look, because Adrian's going to demand a good amount of money. He's going to act like he's the A side, and star power wise, is he the A side? This fight to me isn't going to generate a lot, so I'm just real nervous. Regis worked so hard to get to the position he is. Once again, if he was to beat Broner hasn't had a decent win in what, fucking 4 years, 5 years, you guys? I think we already looked this up. Regis deserves better than this from DAZN. To me, it's a step back if he went to a new company, left Top Rank, and you're going to fight Adrian Broner. Hopefully it's on DAZN, but the prices that these two might be asking for, this fight could be on pay-per-view under DAZN.
Miguel, is he go fuck you up?
On goddamn, whatever the hell he says, on goddamn.
I'm G-O fuck you up.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just wondering if AI got the quote wrong. Nope, somebody actually wrote this. Shout out to Hans over at Boxing Scene. If that's the direct quote, I gotta believe he added the end, right? I'm gonna I'm going to fuck you. Like it's missing the two. I mean,
it's
this
probably
just
one of those
sounds like a bad
text.
date. I'm going to fuck you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be all up in your back pockets or something like that.
I'm on your little back. I'm on your ass like back pocket. I have never ever heard that term, and I really thought I had some street cred.
That's a new one for me. I mean, I guess we can give Broner a little bit of
well, it's a huge for being comeback. Original. I mean, well, think about it. I'm on your ass like back pockets. I mean, I was thinking, oh, this has got to be an Adrian Broner rant of the ages, backed by Don King, maybe some Don King quotes. Nope, it's just I'm on your ass like back pockets. It's such a superstar out of the park knock that I can't even begin to tell you.
As far as Regis goes, this is kind of like this isn't a bad spot that he's in. It's kind of a best case scenario. He first gets himself the WBC belt, right? So that puts him in a little bit of a position of bargaining power or leverage, because if someone's got to be the man at that weight class, they're probably going to have to go through him, especially after this, what happened with Teofimo and Taylor a few weeks ago. So everybody's looking at him to be like, oh, well, he's the next guy, the heir to the throne, I guess, right? And what better way to have people be interested in fighting you is if they think they can beat you. And the best way that can happen is that if you look like shit. If he looks like, and he didn't look that great in his most recent fight. So it's like, okay, well, now people are like, oh, wow, I can beat that guy. I can beat that guy. So he's kind of in a good spot, Now, granted, it probably wasn't deliberate. He was trying to have a better performance in his hometown. So, yeah, granted, it probably wasn't deliberate. But nonetheless, he got himself in a pretty good spot. That's just kind of how it is sometimes when you see I mean, when you see people looking fantastic, they kind of try to avoid you, right? But when they see you looking like crap and they have an opportunity of potentially getting a win over you and winning over your fans and stuff like that, and maybe getting a belt in the process, then the line to fight you is a little bit longer. So this is not a bad spot, which obviously now everybody's coming out of the woodwork, including Broner himself. But I don't think this is a very good fight for Regis to take. I don't think there's really much to gain from it, really. I mean, at this point, we all know and consider Broner to be a total joke. So really fighting him and whooping his ass if that happens, it doesn't really. It doesn't do anything for him. It doesn't do anything for it. There's no advancement. There's no, it's not like, oh shit, he beat Broner. Now he's ready for one of the other champions in the weight class. Like, no, that doesn't mean anything. So, I'm, of course, Broner, his mouth is going to try to get him fights, and of course he's going to try to go that route. So I get it, but it's basically falling on deaf ears. And really, I really hope that Regis doesn't fall for this shit and think like, oh, what motherfucker, you're gonna try to talk shit and listen, try to get the fight going. Like, I hope he doesn't fall for it. I certainly hope that he has enough smart people around him to not to ignore this fool. He's irrelevant. Don't even bother. So hopefully this doesn't go any further than just internet talk.
Well, our next story as part of the sweepstakes: Eddie Hearn, Ryan Garcia versus Regis Prograis. We can walk straight into that next fight. Fuck Oscar. Yeah, Eddie Hearn stepped up this week and was just a quote machine. You've got Ryan Garcia. If he wants to fight for the world title, we can walk straight into that fight next. Hearn told Hub TV, fuck Oscar. Let me stress it the way he did it. Fuck Oscar. The reality is, Oscar probably thinks I'm talking to Ryan Garcia. I've never had one conversation with Ryan Garcia, never spoke to Lupe. I would not have those conversations while he was under contract. Someone asked me my opinion about Oscar publicly having a spat with Garcia on social media, which I thought was bizarre. Oscar can do his own thing. It doesn't really bother me. The reality is, Golden Boy will only take fights they believe that Garcia can win. They don't think they can beat Regis, because if they did, they'd be in touch and we'd make the fight next. We're both on the same platform, DAZN, so it's easy. They've never mentioned Regis at all. Why? Because they think it's a tough fight. And that's what happens in boxing, like the Rolly Romero fight. Why? He likes doing that. Why? Because they think the fight's tough. Why? Because they think they can beat Rolly Romero, but they don't think they can beat Regis. And if they do, please call me and we'll make that fight happen next. There are loads of fights for Regis out there. All right, Andrew. I like Eddie. He stepped up this week. Oscar was basically on vacation this week. Bob was on vacation this week with a fight this weekend. So he wasn't. Maybe at the final press conference in a couple of days, Bob will kind of step up this week. But by and large, I think everybody went on vacation this week, which gave Eddie Hearn the platform to say, nobody likes me. By the way, these are all direct Eddie Hearn quotes this week. Nobody likes me. I'm better than the PBC, Bob, and Oscar. And for some reason, there was a whole thing about Regis.
Yeah, I don't know where DAZN is as a company right now, but they have to be a little bit nervous. It seems like Canelo has walked from DAZN.
We'll be talking about it shortly.
All right. So, yeah, he signs with the PBC, a 3-fight deal. You have Anthony Joshua, who's in fucking no man's land right now. Maybe they get one more payday out of him, a big payday, or maybe he loses to a guy like Franklin in his next fight and he's out. Ryan Garcia career all of a sudden in jeopardy. The more Ryan hangs around with the PBC trainers and the PBC, I mean, this is his second PBC trainer. First it was Guzin, now he's got Derek James. Both of these guys have ties to Heyman. I'm not going to be surprised if Ryan ends up Al Heyman fighter here soon. A lot easier fights, right? That's probably right down Garcia's avenue. So if I'm Eddie Hearn, I'm a little, you want to come out and say that you're better than everyone, but your company's looking pretty hurt right now, especially with the departure of Canelo. He really has nothing left. Ryan Garcia lost. Everyone doesn't know if he's a joke or not. Joshua is not the same. Virgil Ortiz, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing. Never got a fight for Andrade. Triple G's holding up those titles. I don't know what the hell Triple G's doing. Yeah, DAZN, no, Eddie Hearn's wrong. He's not the best of anything. Should be a little bit nervous.
Miguel?
I'm gonna take that what I understand, take it a step further in regards to Ryan and going on to like PBC trainers that have ties to PBC and Al. This has been my conspiracy theory from the time that it happened. We saw the controversial stoppage for Rolly Romero, right, to capture himself a belt at 140. I would not be surprised if they're going to try to make that fight with Rolly and Ryan to get a belt on to Ryan. So a move to PBC, of course, Rolly is a PBC fighter, seems pretty logical. I think that's the direction that they're probably going to go. Going get a little bit easier fights, and if he sees, if Ryan sees the money that some of these guys are making for not fighting top competition, that is probably the direction he's going to want to go, because we saw what happened when he did fight, top competition, and at some point, of course, he's going to have to fight someone better, and then by that point, of course, PBC has already milked the living piss out of him anyway. So anyway, that seems to be the route that they're going here. I would love to see him fight somebody like Regis. I doubt that's going to happen. The 140-pound weight class isn't half bad. We have plenty of good guys. Some guys, two of the top guys already leaving. Most likely Taylor going to 147 or like doing something else, but being gone for a while. And then Teofimo, quote unquote, retiring. So it's pretty much wide open, really, for anybody to take over. And who better than to have a fucking young, good looking dude like Ryan to come in here and become the superstar that PBC can produce. They can manufacture. They've done it with guys like Porter and Spence and stuff like that. Rather not as legitimate as another story, but the bottom line is they've done it to have these guys become champs and belt holders and whatnot, and PBC could do it. So that is probably the direction he's going. I'm not even sure that's what you're asking, Lee, but anyway, that's kind of the direction I went.
That's the direction you went. Who am I to judge the direction that it goes? With that, let's move to our next story so we can keep clearing up the news. Let's talk about the next person who seemingly has a sweepstakes running. Wow. Sweepstakes running. That was a tongue twister. David Benavidez. There's no fight with Morrell lined up. We want Jaime Munguia. So does everybody else. I don't know what the quotes are from Benavidez. I'm sure it's just him talking crap. Let's see. There's no fight with Morrell lined up. I just seen that Monday that supposedly they said I agreed to the fight. I'm like, man, this is my first time seeing about this. We're not fighting Morrell, so everything that's been coming out saying that we agreed to the fight, I haven't even seen anything contract related. I didn't agree to anything. I'm trying to make big fights happen. Right now, we're trying to look. We want to make happen. Wow, did he really say it just like that? Right now, comma, we're trying to look, comma, we want to make happen, comma. Can I do that one more time? Right now, comma, we're trying to look, comma, we want to make happen, comma, we want to fight Jaime Munguia. I'm not wrong, right, Miguel? Like, as I read it even slower, it makes even less sense. Right now, comma, we're trying to look, comma, we want to make happen, comma, we want to fight Jaime Munguia. Who posted this? Is AI again? No, this is Keith Eidick. There's no excuse, Keith. There's no way
we expect better from you, Keith.
Well, if it were like periods after every statement, right now, we're trying to look, we want to make happen, we want to fight Jaime Munguia. See, that makes sense. But your transcripting with the commas is brutal. God. I do expect more out of Keith, strangely. All right, I'll start with you, Miguel. Let's start the Jaime Munguia sweepstakes. My question is, do they all smell blood on the water?
I think they do. I think they do. They saw that performance most recently. Then it just was not. It wasn't to his. Well, I mean, we all know that he gets hit a lot, right? We saw it recently. He gets hit like a motherfucker, and the fight, the kind of fight that Derevyanchenko was able to give him at his age is pretty troubling. And if anybody who has any more power, maybe like I'm sure we'll get to it a little bit later on, like Berlanga or something like that, is something that is worrisome. And I'm sure that that De La Hoya to a certain extent is a little concerned. But yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have. I guess really it's just really a matter of Munguia just saying and his team saying yes, we'll take this fight. Yes, we'll take this fight, because I think he has been a sitting duck for some time now. People are seeing that his skills are not advancing, that he's pretty much stagnant. He isn't moving, and he's his record is improving, yeah, but he's fighting guys who but really, I mean, I guess they are really on his level, but just barely, because he's whooping their ass, right? So I think people are looking at him like, all right, well, there's blood in the water. Time to come in and get, whoop his ass, take his undefeated record, and knock off another one of De La Hoya's quote unquote stars. But yeah, I think it's just been some time. I mean, it's not like there hasn't been fights. I think he was the mandatory for Benny Jacks, or what the fuck is the guy's name, Jenny Beck. For his belt, at one point, and I'm sure a fight with Andrade or Andrade or whatever the shit was at some point, Bubba. Yeah, at some point in the making, but who didn't sign, who didn't pull the trigger? I mean, I can't. I have a hard time thinking that it was Babu who didn't, sign the contract. So yeah, I'm sure it's just a matter of him deciding who he's going to want. But yeah, there are plenty of people that are seeing, the water, the blood in the water. He's a sitting duck, and I'm sure the next, I won't say the next, but the first top guy that gets him is probably going to take that O from him.
Andrew?
Yeah, listen, is Munguia at super middleweight right now?
Yes, technically his last few fights have been over 160. They're not. I don't think they've been 168 per se, but they're like 166 or 165 or some shit like that. Yeah.
He's gonna get absolutely crushed by Benavidez. This is a total PBC setup fight. This is a Floyd Mayweather fight. Benavidez would have the total upper hand in this. Size, strength. It's really a no contest. The styles just don't match here. And the size of Munguia, my God, he would be flattened so fast. He has no defense. How is he supposed to take the shots at Benavidez for 4 or 5 rounds over and over? He's not that big. That's a joke of a fight. Munguia belongs at middleweight, the highest, because he looks pudgy already, and I know he's not a super middleweight, and the guy does not look in shape already. I could only imagine another few pounds on him. Then plus you're gonna there won't be a weight clause, because Al Heyman don't play that bullshit. It's only Oscar that does. He's not gonna make his guy have a weight clause, and he's gonna come in fucking 30 pounds heavier, 20 pounds heavier, and destroy him. Terrible fight. It'd be absolute joke on Munguia's side that you waited this long and that's the guy that's going to take you out. David freaking Ben. You could have had Triple G. You could have had the Charlos. You could have had the guys that Miguel just mentioned, and you're going to give it up to David Benavidez.
I like the Desai. Desai was strong.
It's, I don't know what the hell these guys are thinking sometimes, Lee. Eddie Hearn had this kid, and De La Hoya had this kid. He's 42-0. That's what you built him up for? I mean, fuck, even like a Gilberto Ramirez got Bivol. You know what I mean? He got the best of the division. This guy waited 3 divisions to get an unknown, but an unknown that has hell of advantages over you. Like, I still have David Benavidez beating him clearly on size. This has nothing to do with skill. Munguia doesn't have that much skill. He comes straight at you, throws the same 3 punches, and hopes that his power gets to you. That's his fucking game plan. David Benavidez will crush this dude.
Our next story. This one, you'll like this one too, Andrew, in the world of completely insane. The WBC president says no new mandatory for Tyson Fury. Awesome. Wilder Ruiz eliminator still in play. By the way, for those of you who don't know, fight not signed. But let's see what Mauricio has to say on the topic. Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and even Andy Ruiz didn't materialize. Fury wishes to have the best fight possible. That doesn't mean shit. He'd strip anybody else. I mean, my meeting with Frank Warren was an informal one, but one in which we discussed the heavyweight division and how unfortunate it has been that Tyson Fury has been left aside without the fights they have tried to make. The WBC has the Wilder Ruiz final elimination. Final elimination. They make it sound like a game show. Wilder Ruiz doesn't mean shit. What? Get Dillian White on the phone. I feel like we need Dillian White to show up and go, doesn't mean shit. Final elimination, still in the administration process. What administrative process? I swear to God, are boxing fans so stupid, Miguel, that they forgot Dillian White and how long he took? He was the number one contender. He took all the super eliminators out every time they popped up and still never got a shot at Deontay.
Yeah, how quickly we forget, huh? Yeah, these title eliminators or final whatever the shit really don't mean crap. Really, ultimately, if the guy is not going to give you a fight, it's no secret that it takes a lot of cooperation from a lot of different people to make a fight happen. And when the guy who's the man doesn't want to fight you, you're kind of fucked. So regardless of what mandatory anything, I mean, we just heard that the WBC is going to give Fury as much leniency as possible. So frankly, there's no point in these type of like title eliminator type things. Yeah, maybe it means that you're next in line, but when the hell your turn actually comes up is another story, of course. But yeah, I don't know, Fury's kind of becoming kind of a headache at this point when he's not fighting the guys who are kind of available. It's like you're ultimately, if you're not going to fight the guys that are available, that'll give you the biggest payday you can get. Maybe it's not the most you've ever gotten, but the biggest ones you can get now, you're going to end up fighting lesser guys for lesser money. So it's like, it's one or the other, dude. But it's becoming to the point where it's, the diva is starting to come out, and it's like, fuck, man, you're becoming a headache with a belt now, bro.
Andrew, I've got to be honest. He's treating Tyson Fury like he did Deontay Wilder.
Who?
Mauricio, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Miguel said. His whole trying to find an opponent is becoming a headache. I'm really over it. Look, I like Tyson Fury as a fighter. He's very entertaining when the fights are signed and he has to promote his fights. But the shit in between, come on. And then him allowing that dude to punk him from the UFC, that hella left a bad taste in my mouth. That how Fury straight got punked in that situation. What a dumbass for the way he bowed down to that. So I really, we said this before. We've seen the writing on the wall a while ago that the guy is kind of like he's Miguel just said, a diva when it comes to this negotiating to stuff. Yes, he's the king of boxing. He's the best heavyweight in the world, but it's he's not leaving his legacy really a good legacy. He has 3 fights with Deontay Wilder. That's good. We thought this era was going to bring a lot more, though. The Usyk fight, the AJ fight, they're just not happening. These guys are getting older. AJ's looking worse every time they put him in the ring. Like, he should just take that fight. Like Miguel said, yes, it's not the fucking millions you thought you were going to make, but it's big money and it's Anthony Joshua. The whole UK wanted to see this fight. Can you just give him this fight? He's talking about Ngannou again, and I believe that's the other opponent that's supposed to be in this tournament. Is Ngannou versus Wilder or AJ? Then you're gonna have Fury as the main event, and then they're supposed to face each other after. Shit's just getting really weird. But yeah, I'm kind of ready to just leave Tyson Fury out of the news until the fight's signed. Because I mean, how long can we play the merry-go-round bullshit, man?
Our next story, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, Sonny Edwards fight, signed a contract for 112 pound unification bout. There is no location actually sent. It was just they had a press conference. There was a lot of butt kissing, a lot of thank you. I turned to our expert, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Is this on the Chubb meter?
When it comes to title unifications, that to some degree is going to measure on the Chubb meter. So I'm down for that. Plus, it's one of the smaller weight classes, and it's Bam Rodriguez, for fuck's sake. The guy's been making like waves for the last couple of years. I think he was like, I don't know. I don't remember if he was either the runner-up or actually considered the fighter of the year and a couple of years ago. So up there, as far as like notoriety goes. So the fact that he is going to be unifying, titles, granted, is not the weight class that he was previously, but he's going to drop back down to 112 flyweight, I think. So I'm down for that. It's not like, that's not the fights that I want to see. Of course, I want to see him back at super flyweight. Maybe we'll talk about it later, but his brother did recently retire, citing mental health issues and having a shitty performance over in Japan, losing his belt. Joshua Frank,
Correct.
I'm talking about his brother. So that leaves one of the reasons he dropped down to 112 was because he said that he insisted on leaving the super flyweight class to his brother. Well, if his brother's not going to be in the picture, then fuck it, move back up, fight the Chocolatitos, fight the the Estradas and whatnot, the Soren V size. Fuck, I mean, I already beat him, but fight all those other dudes, man. Like get some fucking money and become the unified champion. That'd be pretty sweet. So I'm down for it. I think this is kind of a formality at this point. I think I do think he's going to win. I think he's going to collect the belts, which is nice, and eventually move back up to 115. So yes, it does measure on the meter, not very high really, but it's on there. It moves the needle a little bit at least.
Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the fight. He's the better of the two brothers. So I'm kind of glad Franco retired to let his little brother kind of take over, because they were going to bump heads there, fighting in the same division. So he kind of cleared the way for his little brother to go ahead and take it on. So yeah, get over this fight and go up to 112 and get the bigger money.
Our next story and our featured story, and Andrew alluded to it earlier, Canelo has announced he'll fight on the PBC pay-per-view card in September, could fight Charlo next. That's just clear speculation, Keith Idec of boxing scene. I'm sure they all want to believe that. And there were probably, when this broke, at least a dozen stories of fighters going, there is no way Charlo, with that long a layoff, is going to jump straight in to Canelo. So the terms of the deal, Alvarez September bout will mark the start of a multi-fight agreement with Heyman's PBC. It was not clear at the time the story was posted if Alvarez should win in September, agree to face a specific opponent in the second fight of his agreement. David Benavidez, another PBC-affiliated fighter, has also been very vocal about his desire to challenge Alvarez, and is commonly considered the most appealing opponent for Alvarez at 168. All right, Andrew, I'm sure you're excited to comment on this. So when I don't even know where to begin. How did Eddie let this slide through his fingers?
Well, he really doesn't have any opponents left for Canelo. Canelo hasn't been doing that great on the pay-per-view for DAZN, right? So maybe they're losing a little bit of trust in his marketability. Don't really know. Al Heyman's going to try to build that Benavidez fight and pray that he can get another Ryan Garcia-like turnout, the Garcia-Davis pay-per-view, right? That's what's going to pay him back on this investment. I don't know if it's going to pay out. Listen, Charlo and Canelo will do good on the boxing diehards, but I don't know if this is going to transition into a super fight, a mega fight, a fight that's going to generate millions of dollars like what they need to pay Saul and Charlo. Because obviously Charlo's going to ask for a raise in this fight. He's not going to come in at the same price that he's doing. And then they've never really taken on a price tag by themselves, like what Canelo's going to be seeking himself. So very risky situation here for the PBC. And it's because the Charlo hasn't been in the ring a long time. We kind of just seen what Josh Taylor looked like coming back from such a long layoff. Look, it's to me, it kind of takes away from the fight. I would love to see Charlo take a warm-up fight before he just steps in. Now, I get it. He's been out of the ring so long. He's held on to those titles. Fuck it, whatever. Take it from him. I get that whole attitude because the guy's been out of the ring so long. But as a Canelo's legacy, yeah, you're going to talk about this. Like, yeah, he did beat Charlo, but it's just like the Teofimo Lopez Josh Taylor situation. Yes, he beat the Undisputed, but one fight in 18 months? That's ridiculous. Like, these guys really aren't holding that championship status down when you're fighting once every year and a half. I think Charlo's been out of the ring for over a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken. So it's, you know, we'll see where Canelo is in this part of his career. Honestly, Lee, I think Eddie Hearn and them let him go because they haven't just that deal has not paid out. All it has been is a fucking red flag every time they're in the red with so I don't even know. Did they ever throw a fight where they actually were in the positive, where we heard that they made a staggering pay-per-view buyout with Saul Alvarez?
Probably the first one, right? That he lost.
The Bivol?
With the Vol?
Yeah, I would think the B-Vault paid.
No, that pay-per-view shit. None of it.
Then
recent
no,
pay-per-view.
and not to mention, I mean, Miguel, here's kind of like my turn on it. Is everybody smell the blood in the water on Canelo now? And Eddie just sort of cut him loose and went, "Good luck, buddy. You want to go after the PBC money?"
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that exactly. I mean, the half of what you said, I think, is right. I think it's, Canelo was brought in to the zone and to some extent Matchroom, and it was almost like a Matchroom and Eddie Hearn was like, all right, you guys in and around the neighboring weight classes of super middleweight, I'm gonna get you Canelo. I'm gonna get you Canelo. He's gonna whoop your ass, but it's gonna be the biggest payday of your life. So I'm just gonna feed all of my guys to him, and then that's how it's gonna go down. Most recently with John Ryder, which by the way only got about 450,000 pay-per-view buys with Ryder. So yeah, I think Matchroom or Hearn and DAZN, they're like, yeah, this guy isn't exactly worth with the amount that we're giving him. Let's have someone else go fucking pay him, and of course he's gonna go to now PBC. And this is again putting on my aluminum foil hat, conspiracy theory. We briefly heard talks about Canelo possibly fighting cruiserweight and Badou Jack for his belt. I don't remember right offhand if Badou Jack is still with PBC or not, but I would not be surprised if that's going to be one of the fights that they're promising Canelo, which is one of the ways they lured him to PBC and the big payday over here. They're like, look, we're going to get you Charlo, we'll get you maybe Benavidez, and the last one on the contract will most likely be the guy that you want to fight. You want to make history, right? You want to dare to be great. You want to fight a cruiserweight. Well, Badou Jack, I think, I could be wrong, is still with PBC, because I think he's left and gone back a couple of times. So anyway, I'm thinking that's the direction he's going to go. But hey, was it DAZN pretty much said, all right, dude, you're not really giving us the money that we thought you were going to give us. These pay-per-views have been, major flops, in addition to one of your fights being a loss. Yeah, let's just have you be on your way and let us, count our, lick our wounds, I guess, quit while we're ahead at this point, and then see if they can recoup some of the money that they lost with Canelo, and, have him be someone else's problem, have him be PBC's problem. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the direction he's going to go. He's probably going to want to fight somebody like Badou down the line in one of the fights of his contract worth 100 million, whatever the fuck it is. So I don't think it's really more so, the people smelling the blood in the water and saying, oh, let's all go after Canelo, but people at DAZN saying, yeah, maybe we should just separate at this point and account our losses, because we pretty much fucked ourselves with the Canelo deal.
Andrew, any last follow-up?
No, well, no, I think he was right on. Look, Canelo, we need to see what his contract is in this one. Is he going to be making 30 million, or did they drop him all the way back now? And that's something he didn't want to do with DAZN because he had signed a contract. He wanted them to live up to it. So now that he's, I guess, a free agent again, went out there and signed with Al Heyman, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be paying him per fight. But like I said, Al Heyman has always tried with the Mexican fighters, putting them on pay-per-views. He thinks that's the way to go, and that he'll just make good money. We have to remember PBC has one fight they did financially great in on pay-per-view. They did one, and that was Oscar De La Hoya's Ryan Garcia, who was the other side of that equation when they did the 1.4 million. Saul Alvarez has never been a part of that. I think Ryan might have more pay-per-view sales. If you take away the Floyd Mayweather fight, Ryan Garcia might have outsold Saul Alvarez. So, this is a real scary situation that PBC and Canelo are putting themselves in right here. He's kind of out of options, right? If this doesn't work out with the PBC, Canelo's kind of done. If this pay-per-view comes back only under 200,000 buys, where are they going? Because look at the
Oscar
David
will take him. Let's all be honest. We know Oscar would take him.
The David Benavidez Plant pay-per-view bombed. We all thought that fight was going to be hot. It seemed like it was hot. There was people talking about it, and I don't give a fuck about Pirates and all that other streaming bullshit, because just a few months later, 1.4 million for Davis and Garcia. So there's people out there willing to pay if the fight's good enough. So Benavidez and Plant bombed. So there's no guarantee that Canelo versus Benavidez is some fucking repeat of Davis Garcia, because Benavidez had his moment under the sun, wasn't that great. So we'll see what happens here with this whole PBC thing, but let's not jump too far on the PBC train just of yet. They've had one fight that has done good on pay-per-view. Canelo's no guarantee that this thing works.
Programming note, the next story is my favorite story of the week. And here's why. Bob Arum is clearly on vacation. So he decides that he's just going to let Tim Bradley off his leash. And here's what Tim Bradley had to say just a few days ago. Tim Bradley on Teofimo Lopez. The kid just wants attention. Never seen a man whine and cry so much in my entire life. And the quotes go as followed. Oh my God. He was on the 3 knockdown rule. Here's exactly what he said. Here comes the dump truck. You know me, man. I got to keep it 100 with you. I think this guy, Teofimo Lopez, I like the kid, man. I had a relationship with the kid. When I said what I said about him being dog food for the 140s, I think that really ticked him off. So now our relationship has kind of gone south. I still think he's a cool kid, but the thing is, the kid wants attention. I have never seen a man whine and cry so much, man. Here we go again. I've never seen a man whine and cry so much, man, about his situation. About the business. And then lowercase, you just start the next sentence off, lowercase. Is there no checking these stories about the business of boxing, about what he's not getting, about the fighter and the fights and the fighter, man? Like, it's ridiculous to watch it, and it's shameful at best. Now he considers himself retired. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I don't know if that has to do with his divorce. Didn't know that. That was some good inside baseball. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with his father. You got to understand this. The street talk, man. Boxing is a small community, yes, but they talk. You got to understand the kid has been holding down the fort, holding down his family since he became a professional. He has the responsibility to take care of the entire household. Understand that. When you have that type of pressure, I have kids and he has a kid as well. When you have that much pressure on you, each time you have to deliver, it's getting straining. You get sick and tired of the feeling and the pressure, feeling the heaviness on you. I think the kid is at a point where he feels like the pressure and he's like, I'm done with it. So I'll start with you, Miguel. Does this not scream of, all right, let's see if we can just bait his ass out of retirement?
Well, who exactly was it that said this?
This is Tim Bradley.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, you know, damn it, Tim has, geez, he has a way of just getting under your skin with some of the dumb shit that he says. I mean, I'm not sure if that's necessarily the route, because I mean, look, he comes back. Let's say, for the sake of argument, Teofimo comes back. He is with Top Rank still, I have to assume, right? And he gives us, a couple more fights, and maybe Top Rank can milk him for a little bit longer, right? Of course, we know that Tim is a Top Rank dude or a commentator, so yeah, better for him, I suppose, right? I mean, more fights for him to cover. But I don't know, like sometimes I swear, like, and me and Andrew were talking about this. The things that Bradley says are so hot and cold. Like, there's no medium with this dude. It's either like one extreme or the other. This is like out. This is the other opposite extreme, I guess. Like, it just sounds like he's almost like he's butt hurt more than anybody else that fucking Teofimo called it a career, And look, even if what he said is right, so be it. You don't say that shit, bro. You're a fucking professional. You leave that shit. You can talk amongst yourselves and your buddies or whatever and talking mad shit about these people. But if you're gonna be a commentator and you're gonna make it publicly known that you're not too much of a fan of somebody and not but that certain buddy, you're calling their fights. Obviously your commentating is gonna be kind of biased. So let's not make it publicly known, and he doesn't seem to have a problem saying that, which again, to some degree is great, but you're going to have to play the game, bro. You have to play ball. If you're going to be a professional, if you're going to be a top ranked commentator, you can't be saying that shit. You can't be showing, favoritism to one fighter or the other, or not liking, strongly disliking one fighter or the other, because the second we hear you, it's already bad enough that we talk about some of the bad commentating when if you watch the fight on mute, you get a different scorecard than what the commentators are saying. Now we have Timothy Bradley saying, talking all this shit about Teofimo. Look, let it go, dude. It's not, you're not missing out on any money. If he's gonna act the way he's gonna act, do it. Let him do it. And if you're gonna talk the way what you're gonna want to talk, by all means do it. But in the privacy of your own fucking home or between your buddies or whatever the hell, don't be saying that shit. Don't be giving interviews talking mad shit about a fighter. Especially a guy who can probably come and whoop your ass. Let's go.
And hey, Miguel, you remember when he was saying about Gervonta Davis?
Oh yeah, how he just doesn't
like
him.
I don't like him. I hope Garcia knocks his ass out. I was like, wow. I didn't know commentators could talk like that. He's very.
I'm staying very quiet on the topic because I'm sure there is commentary of me doing play-by-play for MMA and/or boxing events. I don't agree. I think having commentary is commentary. I say let a coked up, Max or somebody else go and do play-by-play and let them play. They play their favorites on TV. They do it. We watch it every week. I don't know why Tim's getting busted for going on somebody's podcast, letting his hair down. The divorce thing is personal. Okay. You can talk about his dad. You can talk about the family. The divorce thing was a little rough in my book, Andrew.
Well, I mean, Lopez did talk about that, though, Lee. He talked about it during that fight week with Josh Taylor. He talked about it after the fight. So, I mean, he made it public knowledge. And so that's just, to me, he left the door open there. So now we can talk about it because he did.
Like just imagine for a quick second, not to interrupt Andrew, but imagine if like his, commentator buddy, fucking Andre Ward, talk smack about him, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, saying like, nah, he doesn't deserve it. Like what? Like wouldn't that be some shit? Like what the fuck, bro? Like, are you serious? Even if that's what he actually means, like keep that shit to yourself, bro. Don't be fucking saying that shit out loud, or at least giving an interview, have a damn mic, plugged in mic in front of you to be saying that shit.
I'm gonna be honest. You guys are spoiled because Andre Ward is a class act. But if you look at all the other commentators, they do it live on air while the fight's actually happening. Just saying, Andrew. They do it live on air.
Yeah, I hear you.
No issue with it. Our next story. The Errol Spence Terrence Crawford undercard has been made official. Good thing, because we're only 30 days away from the fight. Hopefully they give these guys enough time to train. For those of you who don't know, living under a rock, they are going to fight Spence versus Crawford. I'm still predicting Spence gets the AIDS probably in the next week. But it's going off on July 29th from the T-Mobile Arena. I'm sure Miguel will be roaming around bringing us stuff. Maybe I'll join him. We'll see how that goes. The pay-per-view will start at 5 o'clock. And here are their featured fights going on this pay-per-view undercard. Isaac Pitbull Cruz will face unbeaten Giovanni Cabrera in a 12-round WBC and WBA lightweight title eliminator co-main event. Hold the boat. Hold the
title elimination.
Yeah, right. Am I the only one who gets how crazy that is?
You're hey, will he be the unified
eliminator? the unified number one contender?
I'm sure the WBO would buy in on this. I don't know about the IBF. I would like to believe they have more class. But I have never, Andrew, heard of a WBC and WBA eliminator.
No, not saying that it hasn't happened, Lee, but off the top of my head, no, I've never remember of a double elimination bout. So what happens? So the guy gets to be number one for both titles?
I guess.
That's going to hold up things, right? Because he's going to pick I guess he's going to pick what title he wants and then will immediately be dropped by the other guys. I mean, what's the fucking point? You might as well just flip a coin or have the kid say, what title do you want? That'll be what you're going for on Saturday night because it's going to be the guy, right? Isn't that what happens? If he wins, whoever wins, they're going to pick what belt they want to go after, and then they immediately get dropped in the other ratings.
Who has the lightweight titles right now?
Well, Haney. I mean, he's got all of them. So
he's got all of them. So
he would. I guess it sort of makes sense anyway. He's going to fight the same dude anyway.
Right.
But I mean,
that's what I thought.
Still, it's not like he's not going to fight. I mean, it's kind of defeats the purpose. Even if he wins, let's say for the sake of argument, he's the mandatory for either one of those. When he fights, or should he fight Haney, he's going to be fighting for other belts anyway. So it's not like he necessarily. Hey. It's almost like they thought that and they're like, oh fuck it, just throw all these the number one contender belts. Title eliminated.
Is that the loophole to keep him undisputed? They're all, hey, look, they're both of you guys are ranked number one. My bad.
Well, here's the crazy part. Let's be honest. Bob is never going to play ball with the PBC. This is not going to happen.
No, he will. No, he will.
They did with Wilder. I mean, it was unique circumstances, but it's gonna warrant a big ass fucking payday. I'm sure the way it did for Fury and Wilder, but he will. I mean, if it's money talks ultimately, right? Money talks. As there's the money's there, he'll play.
Especially Lee, it seems like he has the favorites in all the matchups. You look at Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney; these two might be the cream of the crop out of all of them. So, I think Top Rank will definitely work across the table.
Well, I turn it to you, Miguel. How on the Chubb meter is Isaac Cruz versus Giovanni Cabrera?
I mean, it's not. It isn't. I'm a fan of Pitbull, of course. He comes to fight. He's gonna put on an entertaining fight, which is why they put him as is it co-main event? Right, co-main event, right?
Yeah, co-main event.
So they're gonna want to spice things up because I don't want to spoil it, and I don't want to play the role of Lee here. But there's a pretty good chance that the fight's going to go 12 rounds, right? Like the Spence and Crawford, right? There's a pretty good chance it's going to go 12 rounds, and it might not be as exciting as we hope it is. And of course, we can always hope for it, although hope is not a very good strategy. But we can cross our fingers and hope that the fight really delivers. Ultimately, the point is at the end of that main event, we're going to have one undisputed welterweight champion, which is the point. How it happens, whether or not the fight is exciting or not, is a completely irrelevant thing. So of course they're going to have some fireworks on the undercard, and they're going to need somebody like Pitbull to come in here and deliver, which he does pretty much every time. Even if the fights go the 12 rounds with him, he still goes in there head first, forehead first, and just throw down. So we're going to get that kind of fight. So I don't know if it really moves the needle as much, because we're talking about an opponent who isn't well known. I think you said he was undefeated, so that means something. But damn it, I wish I can say it is gonna measure on the Chubb meter, but I don't think so. No.
Is this opponent that he's facing, is he an Italian?
Giovanni Cabrera?
No, Cabrera Miletti, though. There's another last name attached to that.
Giovanni Cabrera is all.
And
It's
look at his
actually
other
not even.
last name.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't state. Does it show him fighting Isaac Cruz?
Yeah. Go to Isaac
Okay.
Cruz Box Rec and you
I
click
believe
right
you.
on the guy.
He's undefeated, Andrew. I'm sure he hasn't fought anybody, but he's
No,
he's
hasn't.
unbeaten.
He
Of
hasn't.
course
But
he hasn't.
he's 21-0
baits
and
to make
7.
Cruz look good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. The guy is 5'9". Cruz is 5'4", has a 64-inch reach. This guy has a 71-inch reach, and he's from America. If he can box, he can win.
Oh shit! I've seen this dude fight before. Oh, you know what? This might actually measure on the fucking Chubbs meter because I pulled him up like you mentioned. Yeah,
He rated
I
on the
think it just
Chubb
might.
meter.
Dude, this dude upset Gabriel
That
Flores
might be the
recently.
title
Like,
of this show.
dude,
He rated on the Chubb meter.
Hey, Miguel, you're so funny. You're all, wait a minute. I think something's moving in my pants. We got to fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm not just pushing rope here, folks. This might work.
I'm feeling something. I'm feeling something moving. So something is swelling
I'm
here. I
feeling
think is
all
measuring.
warm in my tingly.
Let's go. All right,
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, this one might just because this dude, upset Gabriel Flores recently, and he's an unorthodox guy. He will give. I recognize his face when I pulled him up on BoxRec. He's an unorthodox dude. Like this dude, he won't stay still. He will not stay still for Cruz. So it's gonna be a good one actually. Come to think of it, yeah.
All right. Well, just so you feel like you got greased up for the rest of the card, Jesus Mano Ramos takes on Spanish contender Sergio Garcia for a WBC super welterweight title eliminator. This is the night of title eliminators.
Yeah,
and kicking.
It was like Jose Suleiman was like, hey, I can't give you any titles, but I can do something better. We'll just make everything title.
Oh my God, there's
out.
still the only story I didn't bring up is everybody complaining about sanctioning fees for this fight, including Errol Spence, who I didn't even think was literate. Kicking off the pay-per-view will be the unbeaten rising heavyweight. Did Boxing Scene just lift this? No, it says random hits. All right, that means you literally lifted this right off the press release. All right. Kicking off the pay-per-view, unbeaten rising heavyweight Gergen Hovanesson, who will duel the power-punching Victor Faust in a 10-round matchup. Wow. So here's how the night's going to go. I'm going to predict this right now. I realize we'll do a full week of shows and we get closer and see what everybody looks like. But here's reality. There's possibly one good fight on this card, in my opinion. And I'm starting to lean with Miguel, although the Chubb meter has been wrong as of late. Cruz Cabrera is the only fight that makes sense to me. I still think that Spence and Crawford is a 12-round, somebody got screwed decision. But that's just me. Now you guys know whether or not you want to spend, what is it, $297 for this pay-per-view? I mean, how much do they actually expect to... I'm sure it's going to be at least $100. At least. Minimum, Andrew. At least.
I'm buying it for Terrence. And the more that I watch the build-up for this fight, and I'm starting to get excited again for Terrence Crawford. Look, this is a big moment for him. This is a big fight. He's been waiting for this, basically his whole welterweight career. He's been the man that's been just blackballed out from these dudes. And now he gets, I guess, the big fish of the group. I mean, he went at right after he's getting the gang leader of the PBC, right? That's been Spence. Everyone kept saying Spence was the future. Spence was the future, even though he was scared of his future. I got to keep, Spence's whole career has been like phrases on why he shouldn't fight Terrence Crawford. Wrong side of the street, belt strap season, like all this shit was built up on stuff that basically was like, that's why I'm not fighting him. That's why I'm not fighting that guy, but he's the future. No way. I don't buy it. I'm just hoping Terrence Crawford has enough in the tank to take out Spence, because I know Spence is bigger. But when you look at their highlights, when you look at the breakdown of this fight, and I've been watching a few of them, their highlights don't match up, man. You know, Spence has a lot of knockouts, but a lot of them are TKOs of PBC refs just jumping in. Like 3 of them, the guys are looking at the ref like, why the fuck you stopping this fight while they're waving it off? Terrence Crawford's putting motherfuckers to sleep on his highlight reels. Like, dude, just one shot or laying down. His eyes look intense when he stares at Spence. Like, you can see Crawford wants this shit. They've been fucking with Crawford for a while. Now he's there. Now it's his moment. Now I think he's going to be ready. I don't know why you guys keep saying this fight's going to be boring. I don't think Terrence is going to. I think he's going to let a lot of frustration out. And Spence ain't a mover. Spence don't know how to box. He comes straight forward. He's flat-footed, throws great combos, but he's not a boxer.
Oh, no, that's not what I mean, Andrew. I predict one of 2 fights, right? I have said since that car accident, his jaw is glass.
Well,
so
then it's going to be Hagler
there
Hearns.
are
They'll be over
literally
3 rounds,
2
and
fights
it's still
here.
a good fight.
He's either going to beat him up every single round, and it's a 12-round decision where one of the judges seems to magically score it for Spence. And then there's the other option.
Had 4. How many knockouts he has in a row?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
he
yeah.
knocked out Porter. He knocked out Porter, who had never been stopped in his last fight. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let him have a glass jaw. Fucking get him out of there faster.
It's the tale of 2 fights. This is one of those that could either be like a really quick knockout because Crawford is just wound up. He's not saying shit in the press. Errol Spence is talking mad shit. He's been talking shit for the last couple of weeks. Every time he's done with a training day, he's got reporters around him, so he's a quote machine. I don't know, Miguel. It's one or the other. It's either going to be a 12-round, wow, you beat the fuck out of him, or, wow, you knocked him out. Wow. I don't see how Spence survives this. I think he got served up by the PBC. But they got Crawford in the deal. And
they got Crawford to play ball.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think this is like a Don King.
Fight, though. He had to play ball. We asked him to play ball. He doesn't get the fight unless he goes over there. With your tail between your legs. You're going to have to go there, smile at all those men that have been dicking you around for 7 years. Go act like you're their buddy. But now the fight's signed. Now he's looking at Spence, telling him he's going to whoop his. And I don't know what you're saying about him not talking shit. He's talked more shit than Spence has. Spence is the one that's already doing the whole, this is legacy. I'm a legend. We're legends. Whatever happens. Hey, Terrence is like, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Those are my titles. He's looking him dead in his face. And so is Bomac. Bomac did the same thing on the 2 press conferences. No, those guys are on another level. Terrence Crawford comes from a different area. You really got Terrence Crawford, dude. You're about to see who Terrence is. That's why it sucks, Lee. I'm going to be so mad if 35 shows up in that ring on July 29th or whenever the fuck this fight is, because the man wasn't supposed to be fighting this dude at 35. He really wasn't. Their little pussy-ass games that they played with them, it worked. It worked. Al Heyman was able to get his guy the total advantage. You're younger, you're bigger, you're stronger. Everything's in Spence's side except skills. I believe he is not a better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has the better resume. Terrence Crawford has more titles, conquered more divisions. Like, Terrence Crawford is the real deal. Spence has been fucking around with PBC bullshit stable fighters his whole career. He's been babied. And I'm telling you, a lot of his knockouts are the refs waving shit off. It's not, he ain't dropping anybody. So we're gonna see. I'm just praying that Terrence got enough at 35 to get at this guy one more time. And yeah, man, because it's gonna suck. It's not fair in life if Crawford takes the defeat when he was supposed to face this dude in what, 2018, 2019.
That would be the Folgers alert. Andrew's coffee is kicked in. How do you
I
just
will
turn
be
around and
very-
go to bed after you're this wound up, Andrew? Do you just go
No,
in the
I'm not going
backyard
to bed.
like a
I'm
pit
not
bull
going to
and
bed.
like tear
I
up
took
grass?
tomorrow off. I took tomorrow off, taking the kids to the fair.
Good for
So
you.
yeah, no bed tonight.
I'm taking my daughter to programming note. Please go visit our social media and go visit
Hey,
at
Lee.
Fight Fiend Migs. Yeah.
Hey Lee.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
have horses tomorrow. Christina said they're racing pigs. I said, can I bet on them? What the fuck? I don't know. Horses, pigs, it don't fucking matter. As long as Ford's running, I'm good.
Dogs, horses, chickens. Will there be cockfighting there?
That's on my bucket list.
Next thing I know, I'm going to get a phone call. We're going to Miami. Why? We're going to go bet on highlight.
Roy
Dude, I
Jones
don't know.
invited me
Think
to a
about
cockfight.
highlight.
Going to Florida.
He's like, yeah, bet on my
Florida.
cock, bet on my bet on my fucking dude, on my chicken.
Yeah.
I've actually seen highlight, and I still don't get highlight. I don't even know how they score points in highlight. I thought it was like racquetball. It's not.
No, it's
just
fucking
seems
weird.
to
I have one by my house in Tijuana, by my folks' house in Tijuana, dude. When my brothers were younger, my dad took them there for I don't know what the fuck, and I still don't get it. I'm like, wait, do you go and watch? Do you go and participate? Like, I don't get it. What the fuck is
No,
that?
you
I
sit
still
there.
don't know.
Wait. I'm going to qualify, Miguel. You sit there and wait for the tennis ball to be thrown to you so you can put money in it for some imaginary thing that you don't understand and throw it back to a guy you don't know, hoping that you win some kind of magical bet. The only time I've seen highlight was in Mexico City, and I still don't fucking get it. Don't get it.
I have no idea what
Not
you guys are talking about. What the hell are you guys talking
Oh,
about?
it's that
Oh,
highlight
you've never
game
gone
where
and
those
seen
dudes are like
anything?
when they're playing like racquetballs with a big ass glove that's curved and shit, and then they have to like swing it or something. It's fucking weird, dude. Just Google it.
It's a
Like
big
they
banana
have like a
husk looking
racket,
thing.
yeah, glove. It looks
Yeah.
like a baseball glove, but it's big and curved. And like when the ball bounces off the wall, they like hit it with this thing, and it like does the loop around the. It's just fucking weird. But
I think
yeah,
they're
it's
trying
some
to
game
kill
called
each other like
Highlight.
rollerball. I think it's like
Yeah.
rollerball. I think they're trying to kill each other. But what I was qualifying, if you have never seen betting at the dog track or anything in Mexico, Andrew, it's just a tennis ball that's thrown to you, and you stuff money into the tennis ball, and you chuck it back to the guy who threw it at you, and you apparently placed a bet on something. It's almost like, liar's poker. You're just sticking the card on your head and hoping for the best. I actually
I swear I won that
actually
bet. Oh, the guy hasn't come back.
The only thing I was grateful about as a kid in Mexico City was the fact that they actually had Cokes in a bottle. Like everybody was smoking the ice blocks, Miguel, at the top of the stairs. Glory days of the dog track in highlight. There's my qualification for anybody who doesn't think that I've seen some shit. I've been to a bullfight, for God's sakes. How do you take a child to a bullfight with a straight face? Hey, Dad, I think that bull is dying in the ring. By the way, Andrew, you can bet on that too.
After. Don't worry, they're gonna eat it. It gets donated to a village, and everyone eats.
Sure. The coup de grace. You live for the coup de grace. Yeah. I want to see.
It's the elegant kill. It's the elegant kill.
Oh my God. That was a nice break. Visit at FightNet Radio for more of this compelling talk and video. If you're listening to this, hey, YouTube page needs, like 4 more clicks so I can build the new online store and like do new stuff. I got to get over 1,000 on that page. Just thought I'd say it out loud. So if you're watching this video, please, I'm not asking much. Just hit the subscribe button. I'm not going to be like the rest of the douchebags who want you to hit the notification button and send it to 5 of your friends and then jack off in the comments field. Please don't do that. Just subscribe. Okay. I just got to get past 1,000 so I can get a website I so desperately want to build for FightNet Radio. Thank you. That was a PSA. And also visit at Fight Fiend Migs. He is doing a 27-part documentary on Anthony Joshua at the moment. So we're looking forward to that. It's better than, the 24 or whatever, the ESPN 30 for 30. It's Miguel's version. because he has so much time to do that. All right, let's talk about it. Katsu Ioka outpoints Joshua Franco in the rematch, wins the WBA title. Let's be brutally honest. I only believe there's one person on staff here who watched this fight.
I was about to hang up.
Well, all right. First of all, Franco didn't even make weight, right? Like he came in over to begin with. And
he did. He came, and I'm talking about like fat. Like I think it was
like way over.
Yeah.
Then
Oh wow.
got his butt kicked, then retired. Do I have the history correct now?
Yes. Losing the belt. I mean, not even in the ring on the scale. You know, this is a super flyweight fight at 115. Dude comes in at 122. So it's like not even fucking close. We're talking about, you know, a whopping 7 pounds.
And half away. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's super bantamweight really at that point. And then looks terrible in the ring. Now, mind you, he did what he could. He just looked, his timing was so off, and he just looked flat-footed as fuck, and the punches were just not coming. He was not able to get the combinations off, and his face was left a bloody mess after the fight. So yeah, and then, you know, on top of the fact that he lost clearly, he already lost his belt, and then he proceeds to retire. You know, talking, I think it was a social media post that he did afterwards, talking about, you know, he's been going through a lot of stuff and a lot of mental issues, things that he doesn't try to make public, but you know, it's time for him to like leave the sport. Yada yada.
Dick in another woman.
Yeah,
whenever they say that, I always think the same thing. You got caught cheating, didn't you? A week before the fight. And she called you on it. And she took the kids. So you flew out on Monday before the fight and got your ass handed to you. That's what it sounds like to me.
It was caught red-handed, most likely doing something. And then of course it doesn't help that he was over there in Japan where he lost his belt, you know, because he made himself a nice little reputation of like going over to people's backyards and winning and whatnot. So unfortunately this fight didn't go his direction, and it looked like he just at this point has reached the end of his career. And the fact that he gave this fight a half-ass effort really, and it would have been nice for him to at least lost the belt in the ring. He didn't even do that. So regardless, he's out of the picture, and yeah, you know, it's a shame. Yes, granted, he wasn't the better of the two brothers. We all can all agree that Bam was better, and at least the more disciplined fighter. So it sucks to see him go on a loss. You know, generally speaking, when guys retire, we want to see them leave the sport on a high note and a victory, a nice, you know, fucking payday. But now he's gonna have to fork up some of his cash because he didn't make weight, of course. So that's not exactly the way to go out. But hey, you know, he's got more important things to take care of and keep under wraps and whatnot. So I guess this isn't really on the agenda, right? But hey, you know, good luck to him. Hopefully everything turns out okay for him outside of the sport, because it looks like he needs it.
He'll be back in 6 weeks. He'll have to pay alimony. Andrew, would you like to add any comment anywhere to this story?
Nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I kind of knew that going in. Pretty much like me making a comment other than, sounds like he got caught cheating. That's pretty much all I hear. Erickson Lubin stops Luis Arias in the 5th round of comeback bout after Arias beats count. Again, not going to turn to you, Andrew. We're now into the showtime. All right, Miguel. Did we learn anything from this?
No, you know, Lubin, I like Lubin because he puts on a show. Doesn't always come out with the victory. I believe he was off for about a year or so after the severe ass whooping that he got the hands of Fedora. So, you know, he took a real bad ass whooping in that fight. Like, his face was fucked up. I don't know if his like orbital bone cracked or something, because his face was swollen as shit. The stoppage, I don't know. It's just like sometimes these fucking fights, I'm not sure if the referees need to get in there, but yeah, it was an okay fight. You know, it wasn't. It didn't show really much as far as like Lubin, like, oh shit, Lubin is back. You know, he's back to be a top contender again. You know, he fought this dude that wasn't half bad really, but it wasn't on his level. This guy Luis Arias, nothing major. You know, I think that guy's last fight was over a year and a half also, or a year ago as well. So he had some time off out of the ring. So hey, you know, it was good. It got Lubin back in the ring. It got the juices flowing again. It got him plenty of rounds. After the fight, he looked good. He didn't take a lot of punishment. punishment, right? Didn't take a lot of shots. His face looked relatively clean, and he seemed very, very uppity and very excited, and it seemed very, what's the word, like motivated. No, he's back in the picture. So yeah, granted, this probably isn't the fight that is going to be like, oh shit, set everybody ablaze, saying like, oh damn, Lubin is back. No, it wasn't that, but it got him rounds. It needed him to get back to make sure that he still had it, and this proved at the very least he still has it on this level. Whether or not he has it on the upper levels, again, he lost to Fundura, so maybe he can kind of leapfrog Fundura. The fact that Fundura just recently lost to Mendoza, maybe he can get a shot at Mendoza after this. I'm not entirely sure how that would go as far as him getting a title shot immediately, but hey, he's back. Yeah, he's not. We're not looking at him like the Lubin of old yet, but let's see him fight some top competition dudes, and then we can make a judgment at that point. But he's back, and he got himself some rounds, which is something.
Just a programming note. We started talking about the Showtime, and Andrew immediately had to take Junior to the gym. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidence. Carlos Adams. I can never say his last name correctly. Stops Julian Williams in the 9th, and there's controversy that erupts. So what's the scrum in all this, Miguel?
Well, Julian was doing quite a good job, especially early on. He was actually like landing some shots on Adames, I think is how they were pronouncing his last name.
There you go.
So he was landing some shots, and as a matter of fact, I think Al Bernstein mentioned it. That left hook of his, sometimes Adames blocked it, but it was powerful, man. Like it moved him. And mind you, this was at 160. Right offhand, I don't know how many fights what's his name, Julian has had at 160, because prior to this he was at 154, and there's where he was at one time a unified champ at 154. So now fighting at 160, we're talking about bigger dudes. The punches are different, of course, but it looked like he was in it. He was doing very well. Yes, he was getting hit, and it looked like he just wasn't able to take the power of Adames, and Adames was able to eat all of Julian's punches. Julian was landing his own. He was doing the straight down the center. It would not even, I think it was, I forget who was who. One was southpaw, one was right-handed. I want to say it was Adames was southpaw, but the straight right was there for him all night for Julian, and it just looked like his punches weren't doing the same effect that Adames was on him. Ultimately, he cut him open, and Julian was bleeding, I think, under the right eye. His left eye was swelling, so his face was really showing the marks. He was taking an ass whooping. He really was, even though he was throwing back. Come that 9th round, it looked like there was an instance there where Adames had Julian hurt, and he had him up against the ropes, and he did his best to circle, and it looked like Julian could only keep Adames off him for so long, because earlier in the fight he was circling quite a bit. As the fight wore on, he started to plant his feet and exchange heavy shots with Adames, and that's where it started to go downhill from him. But by that point he was already hurt and tired, and he wasn't able to backpedal as much or circle as much, so he had no choice but to stand in front of Adames and get clocked. Well, he was getting hit, he was throwing back, it looked like he was still kind of moving around. He looked hurt. It was obvious that he was hurt because of his reaction time was slow. It looked like he was on the way to probably getting knocked the fuck out. But let it happen, ref, because it looked like it was a little premature. The referees jumped in and stopped it at a point where, basically Julian turned the fight around. Like, he had his back up against the ropes. He circled away from the ropes, and it looks like Adames was near the ropes himself. And then the referee jumps in. It's like, no, dude, you jump in when the fucking guy's back is on the ropes, not when he fucking already turned the guy over. So yeah, it was a pretty bad stoppage. Maybe Julian was on his way to getting his ass handed to him anyway. But let it get there. We don't know how many more shots Julian has at this. I think it was the interim WBC middleweight title. We don't know how many more shots at belts he's going to have. As a matter of fact, his trainer said it after the fight as well. So let the dude, let him go out on a shield by all means. And I get what the referee is trying to do, and I think Mauro Ronaldo mentioned it earlier. Better to stop it, one punch early than one punch too late. I get it. They're always going to side on the error of caution, but I feel for Julian because he was putting on a pretty damn good performance. It wasn't like he was getting totally, he wasn't mopped the floor with her. Adames wasn't mopping the floor with him, right? And I think Steve Farhood only had him behind by maybe 2 points, so it was still relatively close. It sucks. I don't blame the ref, but I don't think I would have stopped it if I was a ref at that point.
And last but not least, Edgar Berlanga drops Jason Quigley Let's try that again. Edgar Berlanga drops Jason Quigley 4 times, wins a unanimous decision. My only question, because I rewatched the highlights before we started the show, well, why didn't you finish him? Like, I don't understand. I mean, Berlanga talked mad shit, and then even after the fight, his quotes were even crazier. I give it a C from a performance perspective. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. Berlanga's a weird thing. Like, I don't understand the Berlanga sweepstakes. What am I missing about Berlanga?
Well, I think he's, man, I don't want to go as far as to call him a hype job, but I think he kind of is. I think that the Matchroom hype train is behind him. They talk about how many tickets he sold in that small room in MSG, I think Hulu Theater. I forget what it's called, but it's that small room in MSG, right?
Right.
And apparently
it is the Hulu Theater, by the way.
Okay, so he sold more tickets according to what Tommy Hearn said. According to what Tommy Hearn said, he sold more tickets than the Teofimo and Taylor fight. I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked into it. I haven't researched it. I don't know that's true because I haven't looked at it myself. But according to him, that's what he said. And if that's true, then hey, there's some hype behind this dude. You know, he was doing the one fucking round knockouts for 15 or 14 fights or whatever the fuck, and he starts to fight stiffer competition and he gets clocked. You know, it's just another one of those Munguia type fighters. He tries to his best his offense is or the other way around, his defense is his offense. You know, he knows he can overpower these guys, and he fought Quigley, and Quigley wasn't going to go down. He did drop Quigley, but Quigley didn't stay down. You know, and there were a couple of times where Quigley landed on him, and you can tell the frustration in Berlanga's face because he would pound his gloves together. You know, he knows that he got caught. He knows that and a couple of times he got the fucking snot, you know, punched out of his nose. You know, so it looked like he wasn't. The bottom line is he won, so he got himself a passing grade. I would probably give him a fucking D. You know, I don't know if I'd give him a C. I'd give him probably a D because ultimately that is passing. But when they put him up against a guy, again, this is Tommy Hearn doing his thing. It's like, all right, let me get my match from guys. Let me just feed them. Hey, you're going to get your ass beat, but you're going to get a nice payday. We have ourselves a potential superstar in Berlanga. Who wants it? Quigley says, I'll take it. Cool. Bye. It's like, I'm going to feed my guys to the superstars, quote unquote, you know, and Berlanga coming. It's like, all right, I'm going to feed these guys to him. Quigley was the first guy to take it. And he came in and, you know, what's his name? Sergio Mora was praising Andy Lee, who was in Quigley's corner, for the difference in Quigley's performance, you know, and the head movement and the feet movement and the use of the jab. So it's like, oh shit, he really showed a few new wrinkles, and I don't think Berlanga was expecting that. I really did not think. I thought they were gonna have a sitting duck in a guy whose biggest victory was against fucking Shane Mosley Jr. You know, so it's like they really expected that guy to just crumble, and when they didn't have a plan B. It looked like they just did not have a plan B. He was not able to cut the corner the way he was supposed to. He did at times, but then he would let Quigley escape. And the few times that he was able to hurt him is when he had him cornered or he had him up against the ropes, and he just wasn't able to finish the job. So I think, man, I don't want to say it, but I think it's just a hype job, you know? Not to say that the guy's not good, and Berlanga I'm talking about. I just don't think he's as good as you say he is. And with Matchroom behind him now, I think it's just all hype.
There you go. That is this week's Fight Net Radio. We'll be back Sunday morning, in theory, barring
right.
whatever.
Ideally,
yes. At Fight Net Radio on social media, and follow at Fight Fiend Migs on social media. My name's Lee Honish. That is Miguel Antonio Barragan. Andrew is all the way at the gym by now. The minute Showtime started, the minute the Showtime conversation started, there was no doubt in my mind that was going to happen. But we will be back this weekend. We do appreciate all of you listening and watching. Thanks.